I have zero concern about that because of the league we play in.
Hey everyone, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Nick, do that accent again. That was cool.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
You didn't stay in character throughout it. Try it again.
Yes, I did. I'm not doing it again.
All right, fine. Can you just tell me the best part of the show in your Donald Trump voice?
The best part, many people are telling me, and I know a lot of people, believe me, they say the best part of the show was David Nuno. You know, I know a lot of hosts, but none as good as David Nuno. He won bigly.
It wasn't your best Trump, but it was pretty good, buddy.
Yeah, I went on a little too long there.
Galita, favorite part of the show?
Stephen McGee, I loved y'all's
By Elise?
Yeah, that was fun, but I also really liked their commentary on the CDC comments on Paul Feinbaum.
Did I make too big of a deal of that?
No.
So if you guys haven't seen it, I'm not going to play it again here, but it's probably on the rewind. But that just didn't like that. Like there was an arrogance to it that I didn't like. It
rubbed me the wrong way. I don't think it bothered Nick that much, but maybe Nick is just
like whatever.
Well, he was talking like he might have taken a trip to Specs before he got on the set.
Maybe he did.
I said that out loud, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that. And then I realized I'm right. He does not sound like somebody who hasn't had a cocktail. But what do I know? Maybe that's how he talks.
Yeah.
Hey, they're in Florida.
He's in Florida. Yeah.
Might as well by the beach. Yeah.
Am I right? Jonathan Hutton's one of our best guests.
100%. Yeah. Awesome dude. Just super nice to us when we were in Nashville.
Super nice human being. Very knowledgeable. Love getting him on the show. John Scheschuk. Love him. He's the fat Pat of the show. And I don't mean that because he's fat, because he likes fat Pat. That and more, it's the rewind. How much does experience play a role? And I'm thinking about some of the younger players in this with Gavin and Caden Sorrell. Your expectations for the younger players this weekend.
Yeah, I have zero concern about that because of the league we play in. Yeah. And believe me, when I was at TCU, I couldn't stand what was perceived as the SEC elitist talk. But when you go through this league, and this is what I said to him, maybe I think the night we lost the last game in Hoover, is no one, every SEC team is prepared to handle anything that could possibly be thrown at them. There's not going to be a better pitcher you face. I mean, maybe Chase Burns. There's not a right-hander in our league that's as good as him, but there's definitely no left-hander in the country as good as Hagen Smith. So there's no better pitching you're going to face. There's no environment. There's no pressure. There's no anything that you're not prepared for. So those guys, it's not like they're playing their 10th game. They've been playing all year, so they'll be just fine. I have full confidence in all of our players and even the young ones.
Schloss, you alluded to it earlier, but the weather, what is your latest intel and how much that plays a role, obviously, in all your game planning?
Yeah, I haven't looked lately. I haven't gotten out to the field yet and talked to Nick McKenna, and does an awesome job. Our field guys are so great. Last time I checked, it looked like we may be good to go for our game, or at least good enough to get it started tomorrow. And then, we're just going to be one of those weekends of this part of the country where you're fighting it. You may get to play for a little bit, have to wait a little bit. Game times moved around. There's many times I wish I would have been a basketball coach. You sweep the gym floor and play, and you get to wear cool gear like Coach Buzz. I'm not a big 3-piece suit guy, but the Peter Millar deal he got going, that's electric.
Guys,
I think he's already at the cocktail party.
Like, all right, Steven, you start us off, because maybe I'm overreacting, but the arrogance and the P-dub, like, come on. Like, you just got invited. You're not even officially invited into the party yet. And now you're telling people, that doesn't compare to what we do. Like, come on. Like, when you go to somebody's house, you talk about their house. You don't talk about your house.
Exactly right. These are all the reasons why we love Texas so much, though, right? I mean, it's the same things that they've always been doing or saying. They're always just a little bit better than everyone else, and they're going to be that way in the SEC. So whether people like it, love it, whatever side they're on, it's certainly going to be true. That those things don't change. The zebra stripes are still the same.
OB, tell me, man, you felt the same thing I was feeling. I saw your head shaking when you were listening.
Yeah, first of all, I kept thinking, that sounds, like you said, it sounded like he had some cocktail. It sounded like Joe Namath getting interviewed by Susie Colbert. I don't care about the game. I want to kiss you. like there's been a rivalry. Like, come on. I mean, hey, Chris, I know it's, celebrating the move into CC, but, have a cup of coffee before you go on. Red River Rivalry is a great game. I've covered it. I've been to the Iron Bowl. It's a great game. It's a great environment. I've been to the, to the Georgia Florida game. They don't like to call it the cocktail party because if they do, maybe the Conte will show up. But they're great games. So to come in and just say, hey, you haven't been to our game, it's just that's typical. And it's funny because what is it that program does to people? Because when he was at TCU, he didn't seem to have that kind of air about him. And you come to Austin, and a couple of years later, everybody's beneath you.
My thoughts are, who knows? Hurry up and wait is another thought that comes to mind. Here's what I said earlier on Hot Mic to Withrow on OutKick. I don't know why. Okay, I can't tell you why, but I trust Greg Sankey because I don't know of a better leader right now that's actually willing to step up and do something and do it behind the scenes and actually, albeit I get it, the coaches are not going to like this. Many universities are not going to like this. Be patient with the process and be patient with the process that's going to work out just fine for the SEC. He's got comments about players getting paid and not being taxed. I get all that. No one wants to be taxed, Greg. That would be my response. No one wants to be taxed. He pays taxes. He doesn't want to be taxed. So, of course, no one's going to come up to him and say, hey, I'd love to be taxed like an employee. I don't agree with him there, but I agree with the sentiment of, hey, that this is let's just slow down and get this right. Because without that mindset, I don't think anything's going to get done. And we're just going to continue down this path because everyone's out to benefit themselves instead of the greater good being the product of college football. I'm looking at this through the football lens. Nuno, I don't know if you agree, but they need more Sankeys and Petit. They need more of the power instead of the power to the power for. They need more juice behind them as an individual commissioner leader. And right now it's just Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey, and Sankey's a step ahead because everyone's wanting to know what he's going to say, what he has said, what he will say at SEC Media Days. All of that factors in, and I appreciate the fact he's doing things behind the scenes when he's saying that he's very good at making everyone feel like he's sitting back and watching when he's actually doing everything that's going to make everyone else react.
What do you think the rotation is going to look like this weekend?
Man, it's hard to say because that first game is so important. I mean, I know they're playing a Grambling team that is, not the norm. So is he going to go with his second or third guy? My guess is yes. I would assume he saves Prager for that game 2 matchup, which is a critical matchup. But which way he goes today, I don't know if it's Sadeo. I don't know if it's Lampkin. I don't know which route he would take there. But my gut tells me that's what he'll do. But again, it's tricky because, you have to win game 1. But then, as you know, game 2 is the true critical game. Because if you win game 1 and 2, you are really in the driver's seat. Now, we've seen some double dips in A&M history, and I don't want to bring anything negative up for the past, but we have seen that happen. But my guess would be that he goes with either a second or third guy today, and then he gets into Prager tomorrow against whoever wins that other game.
John, let's play out this scenario here. So I assume A&M is going to win game 1. I'm just going to assume that for this conversation piece. And then Texas and Louisiana are going to have a tight game. Whoever wins there, hopefully they're using their aces. Hopefully they use some guys, right? Because that's such a critical game for them. That might be the most important game. For those teams, yeah. You do not want to be 0-1 knowing that you could potentially face A&M in an elimination game down the road, right? So that being said, that's the perfect scenario based on this with these set of teams, right? Having a strong 2 and a strong 3. In this case, not SEC teams, obviously, getting them there for game 2.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, you want them to battle it out and shoot. You want that thing to go extra innings. You want them to use all their arms up. So That way on Saturday, A&M's got them a little more depleted. And in contrast, whoever Coach Schloss decides to throw in game one, you want to make sure that person can get deep and preserve that bullpen and have, all the bullets ready to go on Saturday when the Aggies face either Louisiana or the University of Texas. Now, as a fan, I hope they play Texas. I want that to happen because, again, I think A&M's got to have the mindset of we're going to beat them. But you also don't want to get too emotional with the rivalry. It's just another baseball game at the end of the day. But as a fan, it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt about that. John Scheschuk here with us for one more question. So Billy reminded me yesterday that Oregon, because I'm over here thinking if A&M gets past this, super regional to me is a favorable matchup. And I still say that, but he reminded me that Oregon hosted a super regional last year, and those are some good teams on the West Coast. That being said, my whole point is if A&M is able to get through this hurdle, which is a huge hurdle, and I'm not, I think they will, but it's a hard one, right? If they are able to, I like the matchup with the Santa Barbara regional just because you have a chance to get to the College World Series if you take care of business, not taking on an SEC team until you get to Omaha.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. You got Santa Barbara, San Diego, Oregon, and Fresno State. Of course, Fresno State's won a title. Oregon's been a great program for a long time. San Diego as well. And you see Santa Barbara, they're the number one seed. But I do agree with you. There's a lot of factors there, too. You've got humidity, and don't discount that. That's a big deal. When you're coming from the West Coast and you're rolling into College Station in June, there's going to be some pain felt there. But one thing about West Coast baseball is they're very disciplined. It's a different approach than what you see in the SEC. You're going to see bunting. You're going to see more traditional baseball. They're going to put you in positions to where you have to play defense. And those teams can kind of be pesky that way. So I do agree with you. I think it's a great fit for A&M and a great matchup for A&M. And we'll see how it all unfolds. It's going to be exciting.
Great stuff, John. Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon.
You bet. Have a good day. See you, man. Fat Pat.
Yeah, you got it. Dermdoc tells us that was Jonathan Maroney used to use that as his walk-up song in 2016, so there you go. All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back with one tiny segment. Got to talk about Schulte Roofing, an award-winning roofing company that provides industrial, commercial, residential services to Belleville, Brenham, Bryan, College Station, Conroe, Montgomery, Navasota, San Antonio, the Woodlands, and the surrounding counties, which means the world, because it's Schulte Roofing, the home of the bulletproof roof guarantee, the industry's absolute best roofing system, roof installation, warranty, and 100% satisfaction guarantee or your money back. You know how when you go to a restaurant, you can tell if it's any good by how many people are there? You can tell that Schulte Roofing is the best because how many of your neighbors use them to get their roofs installed, or the amount of trucks you see around the Brazos Valley going to different installs. That's because they're the best out there. They've been around since 1994. They're a 100 top roofing company and are recognized by all the top leaders out there. You can call them up at 1-800-4ROOF, 1-800-4ROOF, or directly go to the website, schulteroofing.com. That is schulteroofing.com. All right, before we like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Mustaches when I was growing up were not cool. But Callie thinks they're cool. My daughter thinks they're cool. Nick, are mustaches cool? I guess it depends on the person. But like, were they a thing when you were growing up, Nick? Back in 5 years ago?
I mean, yeah. I think mustaches are cool too. I just can't grow one. So.
I can. Callie, why? You don't want to talk about this, do you? Just like, comment, subscribe. Tell them.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Maybe we'll have some Photoshop of mustaches on
Go
here.
fly a jet.
Miles Teller. I was going to say Miles Teller. Apparently, everybody likes him. Cool. Good story.